You want a willy-nilly over there?
Shimmy shake, willy nilly. I was listening to. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Joe, Dr. Energy Piazza.
Rara is in the house. Catherine Sarah Myers.
Welcome back to BU Network Podcast, Conversations Worth Having. On our podcast, you can expect three things. One, the BU guest moment. Two, the BU moment. And three, the BU final moment.
As promised, we are giving you a very special audible on each show. Your job, well, not your job, it's to find it. You know the game Where's Waldo? Well, here we will ask you to listen for that audible. Good afternoon, Dr. Energy.
Good afternoon.
This was a fun recording today. I love what we did.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Right. We get to do it again. You know, the nice thing about connecting with people that you connect with, number one. Number two, someone who really has a voice and a face for radio and TV. Like, this is one amazing guest on so many levels.
Yes.
Just had so much fun talking to her. Plus, I wanted to take notes and interview at the same time. That was really hard to do. Like, I want to check all those downloads out, and I want to make sure we buy that thing.
The best way to take the notes is to go and re-listen to the episode afterwards, right? So
yes, which we do so often.
Yeah.
Yes, we just really had a really good time today. I think our audience is going to be in for an amazing treat because social media is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that it doesn't, to some degree, it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal, and then you start getting into it, and it's fine if you're just using it for personal use to keep in touch with family, post some lifestyle pictures. That's one thing. That's easy. There's no strategy involved. There's no plan. You just post whenever you feel like it. But when you get into it for your business, and then because then you need to switch, especially on Instagram, which Olivia specializes in. It's her niche. With Instagram, you got to have a business account rather than a personal account. So that opens up other opportunities, has other conditions with it of how you can post to it, where and how, when, and all of those kinds of things. And then you have to get into the strategy, because you can't just post things willy-nilly. Like, no, if your niche is, if you're, creating content or giving instruction on a specific thing, you can't post infinite pictures of, you eating a pie or shopping for food or out kayaking. Those are nice to intersperse because people still want to connect with the person, not just the business. So having some strategy where you're sharing a little bit about your personal life allows you to be relatable, which we talk about as well in the podcast. And it allows people to connect with you a little bit more, but it's not, but it still needs to be done strategically. It can't just be willy-nilly. So.
Right. Did you say willy-nilly?
Willy-nilly, I know, right? That takes you back. I know. What year are you from?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Well, I love talking to Olivia and listening to what she has to say, because her information is so valuable. Yes. And her delivery is so up. And that's what makes a real difference when you listen to this whole episode. And listen to the end. I want our audience to know this. Don't cut out short, and don't just skip to the end, but listen to the end, because she gives so many valuable tips. It makes a lot of sense to speak to a professional. Whatever Olivia has to say, she's going to customize it to you in your business. And that part is really great to know. And I love that she says, like, hire a professional. But there is this website, and I won't say what it is, but Olivia gives a really special website. So I won't tell you where it is. So this is the hook for today.
Yes.
Olivia gives a special website that everybody should know about. Listen in for that. Not only listen to our audible, but listen to her key website that everybody has to know about. That's all I'm going to say about that, because Olivia Crane gives it away today. And then you'll want to get sticky with her in all of her social media marketing.
Yes. Yeah. But it reminded me of when you said, that's all I'm going to say, it reminded me of the movie with Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, right? That's all I have to say, when Bubba is talking about Bubba Gump shrimp. And that's all I got to say about that.
That's it. Nothing else saying, because I want everybody to go there and just listen to this valuable piece, as Bob and Betty Ann Golden would say, this golden nugget.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we don't want to give it away. You don't want to give the spoiler.
No way. We're just having a good time. And when our guests go and do things like that, then we're so blessed to know that they did it right here on BU Network.
Yes. Well, I think that is a great place to head on over, to segue to the other side and see and talk to Olivia.
You want a willy-nilly over there?
Shimmy shake, willy-nilly. I was listening to some older music the other night, and there's like that song by the Human Beings from the late 60s, Nobody, right? No. Nobody can do the boogaloo like I do.
I love
right?
that music.
All the different songs, right? So the shimmy, the shake, the skate, the swim, the jerk.
Oh, wow. Look
right?
at the name.
The mashed potato. The mashed potato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the monkey.
All right. Well, we are a musical group here, aren't we?
I don't know about musically
influenced.
We like our music. I don't know how musically talented we are.
I play the tambourine like a mean tambourine. Let me tell you that.
Okay. I could learn.
Let's go over there and let's do it any way you want. Let's go over there.
Any way you want it. That's the way you got it. All right. We'll see you on the other side.
All right.
Ciao.
Ciao. BU Study.
Be more at ease in your communication so you too can have conversations worth having. What is BU Study? A private, online room to rehearse impromptu speaking, receive instant feedback and achieve quick results, and feel confident that no one is laughing unless you're telling a joke.
Plug in anytime, anywhere. Study with seasoned pros. Access your customized feedback. Then speak with ease and build amazing relationships. Good morning, Dr. Energy.
Good morning, Rara.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, it's I'm doing good. I could be a little bit better. You know why?
Why?
I would really like to give you a hug.
Yes. That is definitely something that is sorely lacking in our culture at the moment, in our society.
Who would have thought that we'd be craving hugs? I understand food cravings, but I didn't understand the hug craving.
The social aspect, yeah, it's just definitely something I'm missing too.
When we started our podcast, we were like, cool, we'll just, we'll do some audio and people will listen. And that would be the thing that people will do when they're not, busy. And now, right. I guess everybody's tuning in because everybody's listening. That's the main activity of the day.
It seems to be lots of, lots of content being consumed on the internet, as they say, between audio podcasts and videos on YouTube and other platforms, Twitch, Facebook, whatever have you. It's actually caused a lot of problems for content creators such as ourselves, because it makes getting a hold of, video capture cards and microphones and stuff have all been inflated in price. Unfortunately, there's a lot of unscrupulous people out there that are price gouging some of this stuff, which disgusts me. And, we do the best we can.
And who would have thought the competition would get so tough?
Yeah, well, even at that, did you know that if you get just 28 people listening to your podcast episode in the first 30 days, you are in the top 50% of all podcasters?
That's awesome.
So that's just 28. You know, on YouTube you get monetized, you got to have 1,000 subscribers and all this blah blah. For podcasting, just 28 people listening in the first 30 days of an episode, and you're in the top 50% of all podcasters.
And this is such a great subject leading right into what we're going to talk about today with our awesome guest, because this is a big topic for us. You know, this is common conversation. I mean, we're so lucky to have our guest today. Let me read a little bit about Olivia Crane, and then I'll just tell you maybe a couple of best kept secrets.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, great. Olivia never wanted to be an entrepreneur. She graduated from university with a commerce degree and headed straight into corporate sales with the dream of working her way up the corporate ladder to CEO. I think she did that. She is the CEO of her own company with the short-lived 3-year 9-to-5 career. Her dream came true, but not in the way that she thought. Introduced to an entrepreneurial opportunity while working for a Fortune 500 company, Olivia quit her job without a long-term plan or a savings account and leaned on her belief in herself to get her through. 3 years later, after some self-discovery and experience, Olivia runs a successful social media agency focused on educating other business owners like herself on how to take ownership, put themselves out there, grow their audience and their business through social media marketing. Her laptop lifestyles allows her to train and meet with people all over North America while in her office or on a beach. Olivia Crane is a special woman in my life. She's a special friend. And I know that she's been traveling. Her photo says it all. When you look at her photo for this marketing piece, you will know that Olivia, as grounded as she is, definitely is a mover and a shaker. Olivia, thank you so much for being here and welcome to BU Network Podcast.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you both so much for having me. It's an honor to be on this podcast.
Olivia, tell us a little bit about flying around. You want to give us a little bit of a lens on what's been happening with you?
Yeah, sure. It's actually been a crazy last 2 months in my life. I'm sitting here back after a 2-month trip in my home with my 4-pound Chihuahua sitting on my desk again. I left the country, Canada, on April 25th and traveled to the US to see my then boyfriend. And we took a trip to the Bahamas from there, where he flew us in a small plane, my first time in a small plane. He's a pilot. And in the Bahamas, he proposed. So I am back an engaged woman. And once we left the Bahamas, we actually traveled all over the US too. Well, not all over, but we went to a few new places that I'd never been before. And we got to spend so much time together, really we've been in a distance relationship for 2 years. So it was so great to actually live with him and see what it was going to be like, working and having a social life and going to dinner and just doing the normal couple things, which especially over the last year has been so difficult for everybody to get out and just be with people. And like you guys said, like craving a hug. So it's been so good. And now I'm back in my home, working from home, and just on to the next stage.
Well, it sounds like a love story.
That was a transformational love story.
For sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how, you're a marketing expert, social media marketing expert, how did that career choice fit with you flying all over the world? Were you able to work that business, now your own CEO, and have the laptop lifestyle?
Definitely. So it wasn't always that way though. So when I first left my corporate job, I was working in person a lot with clients in my local area. Now, I always knew, well, not always, but it became apparent to me about a year in that it might be better for me and my lifestyle and what I wanted to take things more virtually. So when COVID happened, the pandemic last year, it kind of just hurried that dream up. So I was completely, everything was in person. I spent so much time at my clients. I was doing photos, videos, all those things. And then when the pandemic hit, I actually lost every last one of my in-person clients, which, because of the relationships that I had built with them, it sucked because I was so close to the people that I worked with, and they taught me so much and gave me so much experience. It was amazing. But I knew that it was the next step in my business. And since then, I've been completely virtual. I now work with clients all over Canada and the US, and it has been bigger than I ever dreamed of. And now I can see so much further into my business as well. So Zoom has been like my number one tool. And like you guys said, you know, the cameras, the new microphones and all those things, everybody going virtual and working from home. Definitely that's been me buying that up as well. And so it's been awesome because I've been able to kind of take things anywhere that I want. And sometimes I still meet with people in person if I can. But it's been great to kind of take things on the road.
You know, I'm thinking, Dr. Energy, I'm sure you have a question. I just wanted to ask a quick question about the type of social media marketing. Can you identify to our audience today, what is social media marketing?
Yeah, for sure. So that comes in many different ways and forms, I think. And I think one thing actually to identify, if anybody's listening and you're just getting started, or maybe you're you know, knee deep in social media marketing, is really depends on who your target audience is, what you want to accomplish on there, what your product and service can do for people, and focusing on one or two specific platforms and kind of staying there until you're able to grow that specific platform. So I focus actually in Instagram. So I do have experience with other platforms as well, but I really like Instagram for so many of its specific features, especially for small businesses. So when we talk social media marketing, and I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more today, what I really mean is the content that you create for your target audience and what you put out there in the world. So your content, meaning your videos, your images, the words that you use, your captions, anything that you go ahead and post to social media, that's going to be your brand. That's going to be your marketing. That's what's going to pull people toward your product and service, depending on, you know, how you're serving that person.
So do most people come to you and say, or what do most people come to you and say when they're coming to you as a client? I don't want to put word, I'm not too sure. So what are they looking for when they come and they hire Amplified Social?
I think my number one type of person that I can help is the person that doesn't really know what to post or how to actually use social media to convert their audience. So what I mean by that is in today's world, so we all use social media, right? So we all have, you know, a Facebook account, maybe we have an Instagram account, maybe we have a LinkedIn, a TikTok. We're on there and we're using it very consistently throughout the day, and we're using it to connect with people, and we're using it to keep up on news, and we're using it to share tidbits of our own lives. But when it comes to business, it's not like a personal account. A personal account is where you post pictures of your kids and your dogs and how you decorated your Christmas tree. Your business account is so much different. And I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of strategy, the amount of time that goes into creating content for a business that's actually going to grow and or convert your audience. So a lot of people think, yeah, no problem. Say maybe they have a jewelry business. They say, yeah, no problem. I'll take a couple pictures of my jewelry products and post it up here on social media. And, you know, I should get thousands of people in buy my product. And that's just not the case. There needs to be so much more behind that. So of course, social media is just one part of your business, but it's such an important part that really anybody can do it. There's just, there are some fundamental elements that you do need to understand before you may see results.
That's such a huge thing. You know, I was with my chiropractic practice, I was, I'd say a good 7 years, 8 years in before, and I was just doing, you know, things as they came up. I didn't really have a structured plan until I started working with a marketing person who's has a couple of master's degrees in psychology of marketing, and he also happens to be a chiropractor as well.
Nice.
And once I just started working with him, realizing, oh my gosh, just how much was involved and why we need experts to help us out and to hire people like yourself to help us out. And I love the fact that you focus mostly just on Instagram, really getting your niche. We know how important niching and or niching, depending on where you're from, how important that is to building your audience and building that relationship. I was wondering if perhaps you had a story of a particular client without necessarily mentioning names, because they may not want to be mentioned, of that went sort of down that path of where they were, how you helped them, and kind of how they are and where they're at now, and how it helped their business, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I've worked with all kinds of different businesses in different industries, but I really like working with people who have gone in and just not been afraid to try it. They've just went for it, because I guess you can kind of categorize into two people: the people who hold back because they don't know what to do, and the people who go all in and they don't know what to do. They still don't know what to do.
That's Catherine and I. I think we dove in and we just start figuring it out as we go along, for sure.
Well, I love working with people like that, because so much of it is just the fear of judgment, the fear of time wasted. Like, there's so much that it can hold you back from social media. But the thing is, if you're not practicing it, then you're never going to get good at it. So I really like the people who are not afraid to just try, who are not afraid to put themselves out there, make videos of themselves, post pictures of themselves, try different ways to create content on Instagram. Now we have Instagram Reels, which is basically a copy of what TikTok is. But people who have not been afraid to actually try those features and use them, I love working with those people, because usually they are someone who again is just not afraid to try it, but with a few tweaks to their strategy, it really propels them forward. So I recently, just at the beginning of this year, actually worked with a local retail business, a local clothing business. And she sticks out in my mind because she was already doing everything that she possibly could in order to grow her audience, in order to sell her product through social media. And as soon as her and I started working together through my one-on-one coaching program, the Social Suite, and we really looked at her strategy, and we looked at other businesses like hers who were successful. Because here's the thing: people need to give up on the idea of trying to be different, of trying to be completely different. A lot of people come to social media and they come to me and they say, I want to stand out. I just want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I invite you, if you are somebody who feels that way, to switch that thinking around, because what's making you different is you. You are already a unique business. You are already a unique person. But when you're following success, a path of success, there are elements that are duplicatable. And so you don't always have to be different. You're the person who makes you different. So follow strategies that are already laid out, that it's already working and that's already successful, and you're going to see success a lot quicker.
Right. That's what we talk about here, about being you, right? Being more of you, and because, like you say, there are paths to success. There's breadcrumbs left along the trail that you can follow. I don't have to try to be you in order to be successful. I can use your strategies by being myself in those moments and in the execution of those steps.
You got it. Exactly. So as soon as we kind of looked at what other successful people were doing in her industry, she was able to, like you said, follow those breadcrumbs on that trail. And, started seeing more success really quickly. But you have to remember too, she already had so much practice with putting herself out there, which was so great. So it immediately set her up for success. And she actually, she ended up hiring more people. She was actually working another full-time job, which is crazy to me. This is a girl who, she literally had a retail store and was selling online and was creating her own product. And she was working as a dental hygienist.
Holy smokes.
full time. So she ended up putting in her notice at that job and going full time in her retail business, which was so exciting. So yeah, it was kind of helping her to just see that strategy and follow that path to success.
What a reward for you to be able to, be a part of that journey that helped set her free like that. That is like so rewarding to
it
see
really
when you see your clients be successful like that.
Definitely.
That's a great story. I'm thinking about all the dental hygienists who are going to listen to this and say, wait a minute, let me hire Olivia Crane and Amplified Social.
I'm tired of looking in people's mouths. Looking at it here.
Olivia, is there a common question that people come to you? Like, let's talk about Instagram, obviously, because this is really this is the big topic, right? What would people ask you? Like, what is the best time to post, or give me some advice? Can you share some of the most frequently asked questions, and maybe, if you're willing, the best case scenario answer?
Yeah. So full disclaimer, I just love to focus on the strategy side. And I feel like that's always not people's first question. And I always like to turn people around and think about the bigger picture. So the most frequently asked questions that I get are how to use the apps. So like how to actually post an Instagram story, post an Instagram reel, how to edit pictures, how to create graphics and all those things. And so I have different tutorials and things like that I'm able to send people, because at the end of the day, you can learn that. You can watch a video and you can learn that. But what I really love to focus on is a step deeper, where people are not always thinking, what is going behind your post? How are you speaking to your ideal audience through these posts? It's well and good if you can post, an Instagram story, or you can filter a photo and all those things. And of course, those things are important because it helps you to create your brand, and it helps you to look professional and look the way that you want your brand to look. But really what I really love is when people come to me and ask, like, I haven't yet defined my niche. I think I need to niche down a little bit more. Or I think I need to be doing more things that are actually leading people to buying my product or service, and not just posting about my product or service. So what kinds of things can I do there? But yeah, I think the most frequently asked questions, to answer your question, would be like, how do I do this? How do I do that? So that all kind of comes out through, and you know what? I'm just going to let a big secret out on this podcast.
Okay.
Okay. We like that.
Love it.
There's this website. It's called Google.
Nice.
So if you're, if you're wondering how to post an Instagram story, or how to make something look good, or how to use a graphic design tool, I use Canva all the time. Make that be your resource. Don't pay. Well, I shouldn't say that. Of course, I want you to pay me, but oftentimes there are so many free resources out there on the web to help you do that. Pay a professional to help you with your strategy. Pay a professional to help you define your target audience. Pay a professional to help you create a sales funnel through social media, to help you know what to post and what converts your audience, and look at your insights and your analytics and those kinds of things, because there's so much information at our fingertips, and there's some great tutorials out there on those things.
I love that you talk about that. Do you have some type of format where you look at like the best post that you've done of the month, or one that's done the most conversions? Or, I know that's another topic in itself, but you must have some analytics on what you consider to be like, that was a great post. Do you do that? Do you have like the post of the month, or do you have the post of the quarter, and then see like what you're doing in Amplified Social compared to what you did 3 months ago?
Definitely. So I love looking at that actually because it helps me to know what's working. So I'll pretty much, well, I definitely Facebook and Instagram. I don't know a whole lot about the other platforms if I'm being completely honest, but they have built in analytics and insights that you can look into. So literally on your business page, on your Instagram page, if you go to your profile, is a big button called Insights. Make sure you have a professional account to be able to view this. So it can't be a personal account. You do have to have a professional account, which is completely free. And if you go to content you posted, you can see all your posts. I'm pretty sure you can see lifetime or at least in the last year. And you can actually toggle different elements to see what performed best in what element that you want. So there's a couple top ones that I really like looking at. The first is reach. So I love looking at the reach because this tells me that somebody shared it either to their audience or to somebody else that they know privately. So if my content is good enough to be shared, I think that's a big A+ in my book, because that's the whole point, right? You want to post content that people want to show more people and want to grow your audience through there. So if you look at the reach, then you can see how many people actually saw that piece of content. So not just your followers, it could be more as well. It could be outside your followers. The second one I really like is followers. So if you gained a follower from a post, it could be from, somebody shared it to them, or they saw it on somebody else's story, or they saw it on their Explore page. That's also a really good one. And then my next favorite would probably be profile visits. So you can see from a post. So of course, when you're scrolling through Instagram, you can see all the people that you're following, all their new posts and content on your page. So if somebody sees your post and then clicks your profile name and goes to your profile, to me, that's such a win in my book, because my profile is where my call to action typically is. So in my profile, I have it set up that in my bio, it tells you what the next step is. So right now, if you go to my profile, it's purchase my Canva templates or get my Canva templates, something like that. And the link in my bio is to my Canva templates. So if somebody is going from my post to my profile, that's a big win in my book, because they're either, they have the opportunity to take a next step, they have an opportunity to look at more of my content, or if they're not already following me, they have an opportunity to follow me as well, or message me. There's so many things that they can do. So profile visits actually is probably my number one. I know that was the last one I said, but I love seeing what content drove people to my profile, because that's where the magic happens, is from the profile.
That, along with something that we actually heard about in your introduction, has me wondering something. You talked about having people go to your profile and having a call to action there of some sort, what it is you want them to do. And in your profile, in your introduction, we talked about how you help other entrepreneurs like yourself do what you do and build their business. And so I'm curious about, without, giving away the farm, as it were, if there's like a 50,000 foot view of that process, that strategy of you're making these posts, how does that ultimately lead to conversions to business?
So there's a lot of factors that goes into it. But I will say, first of all, you have to make sure your product or service is actually viable. So I actually have a lot of businesses come to me that sometimes they're not ready. They're not ready to really start publishing this out to a large audience, or and that's not to say, don't go for it and don't try. But sometimes you have to look at your product or service and make sure, hey, if I got the right things in place and the right service in place and the right product and all these things to actually have people take the next step. So I would say that's the first thing. And then once you know for sure that you're viable, that people are going to want this, people in your niche are going to want this, the next thing would be to post your knowledge, post your expertise, post why would somebody trust you to buy this product or service. So I love to talk a lot about value content, and that's a lot what I do. That's a lot of what I do on my profile. Is I'm here to teach. Like, I'm here to teach you how to manage your social media channels, how to be better at social media, how to convert more people, how to grow your audience. So I post a lot about those things.
Perfect.
And yeah, and I think a myth when it comes to that is that, if you give away too much, then people won't want more. And I think that's such a myth. People will always want more, especially if you're somebody who is becoming trustworthy. So I would say posting value content. And then the third thing, so I feel like you're going to say something.
No, I was just gonna agree with you about people wanting more, and they're gonna want more from you once they build a relationship with you, right? Because you could go to how many different people who do a similar thing, but they're creating a connection with you, and they want to hear you deliver the information that they're looking for.
Well, that's the thing, right? And when you do build that relationship with your followers, they want something to buy from you. They want to pay you for what you've given them through that free value. And, I sometimes not everybody is going to buy your big program or your courses or, whatever line of work they're in. They might not be ready to take that next step, whether it be the time commitment, whether it be where they are in their business, all those things. But if you give them little tidbits along the way that they're able to, purchase or use or things like that, they want it. They want it. And this is actually something that I've recently done too. And I literally, I feel like putting up on my Instagram right now. So I just developed these new templates, these graphic design templates for businesses. And it's my first product that I've actually launched that is completely passive. You can go and purchase it at any time. I have the automation set up that then you'll get the email and you'll get access to them right away. And I put it up for $22. And I'm going to do, a good launch with it. I'm going to do, videos, tutorials. I'm going to do, more posts and things like that of it. But I literally feel like I can go on my Instagram story and say, I just put up a $22 product, go buy it. Because I've built that relationship with my followers already through all the free value that I've given, that I feel like people will purchase it just because they want to purchase it from me. And, I, of course, I want people to get value and all those things, but it's funny because I literally thought that. I was like, I bet people will just buy this just because. Yeah.
You could do that. Why not? Let us know how that directive goes when you speak to your audience who's already paying attention to you, that you've given all this value to, and you're telling them this is additional value and it's the magic 22. Let me ask you a question about, I don't know if the word blooper gives you an image or a picture, but what is the one thing that people should never do on social media? What's the thing that when you see it, you go, no, I wish you would never take it down?
Complain about their customers.
Oh, yes.
On social media.
Yes.
If people are still doing that, I can't believe it.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Keep it to yourself. Please don't complain about your clients or customers on your public social media page, no matter how much it pisses you off.
That's a good piece of advice. So if anybody listening today has done that, go and delete.
Yes. There are ways of work, this, I mentioned earlier, the marketing guy that I've worked with, there is a way to respond to people, like especially if you're getting bad reviews or something like that on Google star reviews or something. There are ways to turn it around and be persuasively educating your future clients. You may not get that client back, but there is ways to respond to it in a good way that turns it around in your favor. But it takes a strategy to do that. So
Olivia, definitely. If anybody's done that, they should immediately hire you now.
Yes.
And then you'll tell them what to delete.
Exactly.
So let's go into what we call our BU final moment. And we can talk for hours. There's so many. We have a laundry list of questions that we know our audience would like to hear from you, but we have another surprise for our audience with you. So if our audience hangs into the end, they are going to get more. Let's talk about BU final moments during this conversation today. And our tagline is conversations worth having. What has come up for you in this conversation that you would like to share with us and our audience?
So I think today it was really great to just hear that other people feel the same way. Like, thank you for, saying, oh yeah, like we do that here, or I've heard this before, or I totally agree with what you're saying, because sometimes you're like, oh, okay, like people do agree with this and know it. I also want to say that it was really interesting what you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, about how 28%, if you get 28 listeners, I think within the first month of the podcast, you're in the top 50%. And I wrote down that on a note, actually, and I underneath it, I wrote one platform at a time, because people try to overextend themselves sometimes and try to go in too many different directions too quickly. But just hearing that statistic really made me think, I have some clients, and even for myself, it'd be interesting to dabble into this. So you've kind of inspired me maybe to get on the podcast train myself.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome.
We've done our job. Inspired you.
Mission accomplished for the day.
Dr. Energy, what is your BU final moment for today?
For me, it's very much along the lines of what Olivia, you just mentioned about focus. We have been experiencing this ourselves with our business. We have been doing the podcast for almost 2 years now, and the building it has been at times slow process, at other times it jumps ahead light years at a time, and it's being open to the flow of that. It doesn't always have to be this long, steady climb. It can be ups, it can have downs. We are part of the rhythms of nature, and we have to remember that. And I really like the idea of focusing on one platform at a time. We recently started, within the last 6.5 months, of focusing on building connections through Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel, but we haven't really given it a lot of attention as much as we have with Facebook. It's like you said, focus on a platform at a time, because it's very easy to get distracted on different platforms with different aspects of how they work and how they engage people. And if you get too distracted, you're not going to be able to build as much of a connection. So build a platform in one place. And once that's built and solid, and you don't forget about it, but you sort of can divert more of, you can put it on sort of on the back burner and put more attention on something else on the front burner. And then, check the lid on the pot. Is it boiling now? Or do I need to turn up the heat? Do I need to give it some attention? Does it need to be stirred at the moment? And you can check in, but it takes more energy at the beginning to get a pot boiling. Once it's boiling, you just have to keep checking on it every once in a while. But to get it going, it takes a bit of time. So just recognize that it is going to take a little bit of time and effort and energy and dedicated focus to get something new going, and it's so rewarding. So I just wanted to thank you for being there, being here today, and sharing that with people. It's that focus that you have is great to hear and see. So thank you.
Yeah, you're so right on that too. Thank you so much.
Rara, what is your BU final moment today?
Thank you. I love when Olivia said she feels like she could go right to her audience and say, buy that. Coming from New York, this direct approach to me in a trusted circle makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
There is no reason why anyone should question someone once they already trust them. And Olivia, I wholeheartedly believe that your audience would listen to you, even if they had just first met you. I love that you believe and that you could do that. And I certainly support you if you choose to. So I love when you can talk to your audience and say, do this because I've created something for you that's value packed. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for being our guest today. We have a surprise for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to listen to what we have to say, we're going to shift over another day and have Olivia back. And next time you're going to see her. So Dr. Energy, you want to talk a little bit about that for 10 seconds?
1, 2. Tune in to a future episode of BU Network, where we will be doing our live podcast over on the aforementioned YouTube channel with Olivia. We'll either be doing it on Facebook or on YouTube, maybe both. We might even have that surprise for you. We'll see how that goes. And you'll get to not only hear Olivia, you'll get to see her, and we'll dive a little bit more into some of these topics a little bit more deeply, because on those live podcast recordings, we go a little bit deeper. We have a little bit more time available to us to record and get a little deeper into questions. So look forward to that.
Yes, and Olivia has a giveaway, and Olivia has an offer, and Olivia has lots of things. So check her out. Go to Olivia. Where can people go and catch you quickly?
The best place to get me is on Instagram. If that wasn't made obvious, it's at Amplified Social.
Awesome. Thank you. Hang out with us, and we're so thrilled that you're here with us.
Thank you both so much. This is so fun.
All right. We'll see everybody on the other side.
Thank you for joining us. Sharing is caring. Tell your friends about conversations worth having on BU Network. We really appreciate your reviews, and you can do that on Apple Podcast. Thank you.
For show notes and links, go to www.b-u.network/podcasts. Connect with us via our website, www.b-u.network, and build a relationship with us. Sign up to receive information, updates, and your free video training at www.b-u.network/pro.
We're looking forward to hearing from you, and thank you for being with us. Ciao.
Ciao, babies.